Hello, and welcome to the Missions Rotation Volunteer Training Night. The Missions Rotation is going to take place in the backstage, so if you walk through the doors on either side of the stage, if you're walking through the doors to the left of the stage, you're going to turn right down the hallway. If you're walking through the doors to the right of the stage, you're going to turn left down the hallway. Luckily, we'll have it marked so you can just also follow the mission sign. Here is a map. The yellow is the backstage. The two things that are circled, the two little hallways that are circled, are the doorways from the worship center. And then there's arrows pointing towards the backstage for you to enter. The mission staff, just a quick overview. We have Brooke Souza, that's myself. I will lead the volunteer huddles before and after each day. I will also be the main point of contact for any questions, and I will be one of our MCs. We have Jaylene Negron. She will support with leading volunteer huddles and answering any questions. She will be our second MC. And we have Irma Rodriguez, who is our For Orlando director. She will be the volunteer leader during rotation for immediate questions and guidance. If there's anything that's super urgent and cannot wait for a transition time to ask myself or Jaylene, Irma will be available and fully capable of answering those questions. She will also have our missions radio to hear any updates from the kids team. Just a quick week overview. We have global missions on day 1, evangelism on day 2, and local missions on day 3. And the last day is our missions recap day. Day 1, global missions, we're going to talk about what is a missionary, what's God's mission, why do we go, and introduce who and what we're raising money for. We'll have the MCs talking on stage, and then a video from the Romualdo family, who is the family we will be raising money for. Day 1 activity, it's called Catch for the Kingdom. So we'll have 2 teams of 2 kids that will work together to catch as many fish as possible and bring them back to their side. This is going to be a Hungry Hungry Hippo style game where there'll be one student on a scooter on their stomach and the other with a bucket, and the other will be holding their legs and pulling them as they're grabbing some fish. So tie into the lesson, just like you were racing to catch the fish, Jesus calls us to be fishers of people, sharing his love with others. Day 1, volunteer responsibilities. Each day for these volunteer responsibilities, only a few things that are getting changed. So at the beginning, you're going to welcome crews, direct each crew to one square on the ground. The MCs will do most of this, but having volunteers help guide is very helpful. We'll have 1 to 2 volunteers hand out beaded necklaces for the activity. This helps to make the game go a lot quicker when we're starting. We're not having to choose people to play. We're just ready to go and say, if you have a beaded necklace, come on up. If we have enough people, we'll have 1 volunteer standing down the hallway so that there's no bathroom stops along the way. During the rotation, keep kids away from the supplies. That's really just at the front of the room. We'll have it coned off, but just for some extra help. Help teams count fish at the end of each round. So we'll have 1 on one side, 1 on the other side, helping the kids count and then reset the game after each round. We're going to try to get as many rounds in as possible. At the end of the rotation, reset each game, help direct crews out, and then if we have enough volunteers, we'll have 1 volunteer head down the hall for no bathroom stops. Day 2 is evangelism. The focus is evangelism. When you share your faith, it can feel a lot like walking on water. It can feel impossible, but with God's help, you can do it. The educational delivery, we have Pastor Trey coming in for an interview. The activity is called Walk by Faith. We'll have 2 teams of 2 kids. 1 kid will guide their blindfolded teammate through an obstacle course using only their voice. The first team to complete the course wins. The tie into the lesson, they had to listen carefully and trust the voice guiding them, even when they couldn't see. That is what it's like following Jesus. We don't always see what's ahead, and we can trust him to lead us the right way. So a lot of these are similar. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what's different for each day. But during the rotation, we'll have you help reset the game after each round and then hand out prizes for this day. So we have little temporary tattoos. We have 1 bucket for girl temporary tattoos, 1 bucket for boy temporary tattoos, and we'll just have them choose which one they want. Again, reset the game at the end of the rotation and direct crews out. Day 3 is local missions. The focus is Jesus loved and served us first, so we do the same for others in our community. So that's based on 1 John 4:19. We love because he first loved us. So the educational delivery will be the MCs talking on stage just for a little bit. The activity is going to be packing bags and prayer. So the instructions are each crew will pack 4 bags that will go to First Embrace Clients, which is our pregnancy center at the church. Once all bags are packed for that group, they will pray over the bags and for the clients that will receive them as a group. At the end of the rotation, as a whole group, meaning the MCs will do this, we will pray over the bags for the clients, and potentially, depending on time and interest and the age of the group of the kids, we'll potentially have a student come pray for the bags as well and the clients as well. The things that are changing on this day, we will need you to keep an eye out for crews that need more supplies, and then direct kids to bins to drop off finished bags. We should have them all pre-counted out and everything should be fine, just in case. Just keep an eye out in case anybody's missing something. Again, reset each group supplies at the end of the rotation. Everything will be counted out, so you just have to dump into buckets. Should be pretty easy. Day 4 is missions review. The focus is leave VBS a different person than the way you came. Apply what you learned to your life. What did you learn this week? The educational delivery is the MCs talking on stage for a little bit again, and then the game show. So it's called Missions Extravaganza Palooza Game Show. We did this last year and they loved it. We're just tweaking it a little bit this year to get more kids involved. So each crew will compete in a game show to see who remembers the most from the week. The crew or crews with the most points at the end wins. This day will be the most demanding from our missions volunteers because we're going to have you keep track of this crew's scores. So we're going to divide the room into 4 and assign one volunteer to 1/4 of the room, and you're going to help keep track of the scores. It's going to make a lot more sense once we're in the room, and I'll explain this more on the day of, but they'll have color-coded pieces of paper that they're holding up, and you will just easily be able to mark what those are. You will also help hand out prizes to winning crews. This could be more than one crew, so we might need more people on handing out prizes duty. It is going to be temporary tattoos again, but just for the heads up, we could have some crews that are tied. We're going to try to make it a little bit difficult, but at the same time, we do want people to win. At the end of the rotation, we're going to reset each group supplies and add stickers to each group. So I forgot to mention that earlier, but we also need you to look out during the rotation for crews that need extra stickers. They're getting stickers to take home from the missions, just as like a memory verse kind of thing. And we'll need your help to have them make sure they're restocked and add prizes to the bin if they need it, help direct crews out. Some important information, we have 2 comm zones. One is in the back of the room if they just need some space. And the second one is in room WC118 next door if they need a complete break. Where and when to meet. So the VBS volunteer huddle begins at 8:15 in the worship center. This is all VBS volunteers, including myself. I will be included in this huddle, listening into the updates. Once that is over, that is the most important part. Once that is over, the missions volunteers will then meet in the backstage for the missions volunteer huddle. So this is where you'll get a lot more of the information for each rotation that day, a lot more of the game instructions, details on your responsibilities for the day. This is where you can ask questions, all that good stuff. That is going to be key. Make sure that you're there for that. But once the volunteer huddle in the worship center is over. Lastly, thank you so much. We appreciate you and your help. We could not do this without your help. And I am looking forward to serving with you all.